Ahoy, landlubbers, it's me, your valiant Captain Vasco, and welcome back to Skylanders Giants. Now today we're going to be kicking off the story full force with Time of the Giants, as I mentioned last time, but unfortunately, just like in Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, we don't have access to the hub world just yet, and since that's where I like to sort of do my intros, gonna have to be a little bit creative today. And this time around, that means letting the story speak for itself. So let's just dive right in, shall we? Super Toy Planet? That seems like an awesome place. Can we use a portal of power to go there? Hey, that toy up there looks kind of familiar, doesn't it? Where have I seen that guy? Sounds kind of like Invader Zim, doesn't he? Jeez, what's that guy's name? Oh, wait a minute. It's Kaos! What's he doing at Super Toy Planet?
Where am I? Oh, wait! I remember now. It was Eon and those miserable Skylanders who banished me to this idiot wasteland.
Ah, so he's here to pick up the newest Skylanders, that must be it.
Come back and destroy this place!
I'd like to see you try, Kaos.
Who said that? Well, well, look what we have here. Mighty Skylanders, frozen with fear in my awesome presence.
If I could move, I'd be dropping the hammer on you right now.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah!
Aw, but you can't, can you? Know why? Because I am a portal master, and you're not. And in case you hadn't noticed, my powers far exceed any of yours. Glumshanks.
Lord Kaos? Oh, I've been looking everywhere. You seem to be someplace called Earth. I believe it's the homeworld of those portal masters.
I've already figured that out, fool. And because of my superior awesome abilities, I am well on my way to devising a plan for my escape. And there it is!
A portal?
Exactly! These foolish human fools have obviously underestimated me. So long, Sky Losers!
Ooh, sick burn, Kaos. We'll get you back for that one.
Sir, I don't know if that's a good idea. I mean, portal masters aren't supposed to use portals on themselves.
Silence, Glumshanks! Now, prepare for my triumphant return!
Is this really gonna work? 'Cause, oh. No, I guess not. Whoa. Ooh, jeez, does that always happen to Skylanders? I feel like they'd complain more.
Greetings, Portal Master. I am Eon.
Hey,
and
Eon.
I have come to guide you on a great journey.
Sounds good.
Welcome to Skylands, a magical world of wonder and adventure, protected by the greatest heroes ever known, the Skylanders. It had long been my duty to watch over the Skylanders and lead them, but this task has been given to you. And now you have found a giant, which is why I have sought you out. Giants were the first Skylanders from long ago, and they have not been seen in Skylands for a very long time. I believe you have found them for a reason. To better understand, let us look back 10,000 long years, to a time when Skylands was ruled by an evil empire of robots known as the Arkeyans.
This was a dark time for Skylands. the peaceful Mabu had been taken from their homes and forced to build massive monuments for the evil Archean Empire. But the iron rule of the Arkeyans would give rise to a new age of heroes, the Skylanders. Now, place one of your Skylanders on the portal of power.
Alright guys, so like I said last time, this may not be the start to the game that you're expecting if you haven't played the game before. I certainly wasn't expecting to travel back in time 10,000 years. And it also strikes me as kind of weird that Eon goes out of his way to mention that the Giants were the first Skylanders ever, and so we go back to visit the time of the Giants. But you can actually play any Skylanders you want on the portal. You can play with any of them in this level. I find that kind of weird. Like, I don't know. Just like, it's supposed to be all about learning about the Giants, but you can play with whoever. I mean, it makes sense in terms of the game, but like in terms of the story, it's kind of confusing. But, yeah, let's start things off with the Giant. I think I'm going to focus today on trying to play mostly Giants, because it is the time of the Giants, but of course, for sake of elemental gates and such, we may have to rely on some of our other teammates. And let's kick things off with this Giant.
I've got my eye on you.
Alright, Pegasus, let's do this. Let's show the Arkeyans who's boss.
Well done, Portal Master.
Alright, we are finally, officially playing Skylanders Giants. Are you excited? I'm excited. Now, yeah, so, as I mentioned before, we have, like, the giant symbol that shows us when we can do giant things, but Giants can also just do certain things naturally that others can't. For example, picking up giant rocks. Look at how big this is. It's, like, as big as Pegasus. Now, curiously enough, there are some things that Giants can break that regular Skylanders cannot, that the game will not indicate to you. For example, this gate here. With the strength of a Giant, you can break it open, but there isn't a Tree Rex face symbol on the ground to warn you of this. So I guess it's good that they show it to you up front so that you have the opportunity to look for these things like throughout the game, but I, for one, didn't really pick up on this as quickly as you might have. And here we have our first collectible, the Winged Sapphire. Now, they work just like they did in the last game, except instead of finding them all in the hub area, you find the majority of them hidden within the various chapters of the game. Cool. So I decided to start with Pegasus today because previously... Oh goodness, the whole Earth is falling apart. I guess that's what happens in prehistoric times. The world hasn't settled yet. Here's another rock. I can just throw this at some turtles for fun. Oh, I hit another rock with my rock. Now, like I was saying, goodness, I forgot how much tutorial happens in this level. When you go back and play it after completing it, it does not show off all of the tutorial, and it's nice because the tutorial is fairly obvious for anyone who played the first Skylanders game. So, I'm going to try not to overlap Eon, but he's also going to bother me, so I'm probably just going to ignore him at certain points. Now, like I was trying to get across, I decided to start with Pegasus today because the early part of this level doesn't really have a ton of monsters or enemies to give me experience. But all of my Skylanders are going to need to gather treasure, so since there's no enemies and a little bit of treasure, seemed like the right giant choice to play in the time of the Giants. Since I don't want anyone getting too far ahead of the pack. I may not be quite as studious. I can't think of the correct word. I don't know what word I want to use here. I may not be quite as strict, we'll say, in terms of trying to keep my levels, like, exactly on par as I did last time, but I don't know. I may be obsessively compulsed to do so, even though playing through the first time I wasn't quite as strict. Now, just like in the last game, you push these turtles, they open up new paths in various ways. They either cease to block your path when you push them out of your way, or you can drop them into things like these small rivers to gain access to new areas. Such as this small island here with the chest on it. So there we go, second collectible of the game, and our first chest. Now, in this game, there's always the same number of chests in every level, except instead of being 3, it's 4. So, you know, it's a little bit of a change from last time. Kind of exciting because it means there's just generally more treasure in the world.
Stay back, you things! I'm warning you!
Bone jumpy.
Here's another thing about this whole time travel angle that struck me as kind of weird.
I knew one day help would come, and here you are. Quickly, follow me.
Took out those enemies so quickly that I didn't even have time to talk about them.
Listen, everyone! The Skylanders are here! They're gonna free us so we can get home!
We're safe!
I know a secret way into the tunnels, but we need you to take care of the guards.
My name's Gigantus.
Hi,
and
Gigantus.
I want to help too. I might be a little thick-headed, but maybe I can show you a few things.
Oh, Gigantus, you're so helpful.
It's
Thank
good
you.
to be giant, because you can do stuff like this. Yeah! Okay, Skylander, let's go!
So, just in case you hadn't managed to figure it out for yourself by this point in the level, Gigantus points out that you can lift giant boulders and throw them and things of that nature.
I see something.
It strikes me as a little odd. Wow, okay, we really want to drive home the fact that giants can lift things. We need about 4 characters to tell you this. This game does not give you a lot of credit at the start, and then later on gives you a lot of credit, maybe when it shouldn't. We could do with some balance, but we'll discuss this later. So it strikes me as kind of odd that Gigantus seems like he really could just be a Skylanders giant character, but he's not. He's just some random large guy. You know, just because you keep talking, I'm going to smash this rock on you, buddy. Wow, he took that like a champ. He didn't even flinch. Jeez, I should respect these Mabu a little more, I think. Alright, so here we've got another collectible. First soul gem of the game. This is for one of the new life element Skylanders named Shroom Boom. He's got like a slingshot, does some like projectile stuff, and I think he makes like mushroom walls or something. I don't know, he's not one I've played with. Seems kind of cool, but yeah, I think I've mentioned in the past that most of the life element Skylanders aren't really my favorite. This unlocks his self-slingshot ability, which, again, I think he uses his slingshot to fire himself instead of his normal projectiles. Don't know what difference that makes, because, again, I haven't played with him. But, I don't know, feel free to let me know in the comments what you think of Shroom Boom. Yeah, as I mentioned last time, all the Skylanders this time around talk, so there's a lot more catchphrases. A lot of them are triggered by events such as, like, picking up treasure and putting on hats, things like that. So, be on the listen out for those things. Hey, Gigantus, catch! Oh, I missed.
Here's
What's
another
up, buddy?
cool thing giants can do in certain places. Geronimo!
Oh, there he goes. Alright, so here's something interesting that I didn't know until I actually was, like, researching these levels more in depth. Now, I assumed that you needed a giant to continue through this level, especially since the starter pack of this game, even the Portal Owners Pack, the one that doesn't require you to get a new portal, comes with a giant. So I figured you just needed a giant and had to take this jump down there to progress further into the level. But apparently, you can use a smaller Skylander and just follow Gigantus down that same hole he made. It just cuts you off from accessing one of the collectibles of this level. So that's something interesting to note. You know what? There's not a whole lot to be done in this level, and we've been playing with Pegasus for a little while already. So let's switch to... I think I'm gonna go with Flint for now.
It's crush hour.
As I said, I wanted to focus on giants today, as it is the time of the giants. And in future episodes, we'll balance things out a little bit more. It's probably also good to get a jump start on gaining experience for all of your giant Skylanders if you're playing along at home, simply because, as I mentioned previously in the introductory episode of this series, giants have a difficult time dodging attacks, so if they've already leveled up some, gained some extra armor, stuff like that, they'll be a little bit better equipped to deal with enemy threats in later levels. Do you have something interesting to say?
Agents, a Skylander. Here, say, I think a giant could break right through that cracked stone. No one would ever see that coming.
So, no, you have absolutely nothing interesting to say. Everyone in the time of the giants apparently mentioned things that were already obvious. Luckily, we've come a long way since then, and in the present and in the future, not quite so much of that pointing out the obvious. So, story scrolls actually function differently in this game, and this is something I wanted to point out. That in the last one, they were mostly just like flavor text, meaning that they just sort of told you stuff about the world of the Skylanders. They weren't actually relevant to the game for the most part. In this game, I think they all provide at least some minor hint about where treasure or collectibles are hidden. So it's an interesting change. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. It's got some pluses and minuses, but generally it's pretty cool. Let's see what this one has to say. Yep.
Despite such snowy conditions, those who reside in the frozen wastelands have never seen an avalanche. Residents are known to throw bombs off the side of the islands in hopes of triggering one. Just to have a story to tell their children, I suppose.
Come to think of it, I don't know if that is referring to anything specific in-game. So that one may in fact be just a story scroll. So I may be wrong about that, but the majority of them in this game at least tell you things about this game. Also in this game, it will give you the option to read the story scroll, so you don't have to read it right away like you did in the last one. Although personally I always like to read them. Plus you could skip through them pretty easily, so there wasn't much incentive not to do it. So let's take every single person in this cave's advice and use our giant power to jump off this cliff. This is another way that giants can get around that regular Skylanders can't. So you press your action button. And as I said, there's a collectible here that you can access with a giant by going down that hole that you miss out on if you take the other hole that Gigantus made. Now we encounter our second wave of enemies for the level.
An unpleasant place Arkeyans often put prisoners. Defeat all the enemies in here to open this gate.
Just like the last Skylanders game, introducing the enemy gate early on with a small group of chompies in a confined space. Right, I don't think I actually finished talking about these chompies earlier. So what I wanted to say was that I think it's really weird that we've traveled back 10,000 years in time, and the chompies are like these skeletal, almost zombie-like creatures, whereas I would really expect that to be the other way around, if anything. Like, perhaps the chompies existed in the past, and then they only exist in the present because some, like, magic brought them back to life after they died or something? I don't know. It just seems a little bit weird to me. Oh, man. Managed to make quick work of that chompy pit.
Hey! Up here, Skylander! Just use those bounce pads. Come on!
Yeah, they really don't give you any credit in this game. Don't worry, this does not last beyond the first level. I mean, there's a couple of, like, stray hint-type things in various levels, but nothing quite like this, where every 5 seconds the game stops to tell you exactly how to progress through this fairly simple level. Now, I think we actually got through that chompy pit a little bit too quickly. I'm gonna see if they'll let me back inside, so we can have some more fun fighting chompies. What do you guys say about that? Hello, chompies. Knock, knock. Who's there? Chompy? Smash. Smash. Yeah. Oh, so I didn't show it off before. Let's use my other ability as a giant. Funny thing about giants is that for enemies that are small or weak enough, you can sort of just walk into them and either deal them damage or kill them outright. Chompies are among those enemies. I'm not even actually sure if there's other ones, but I know for sure that the chompies, you can sort of just walk into them and just kill them. It's kind of ridiculous. So this first chompy pit does not pose a huge problem for any giant. And I suppose we can show that off pretty simply by showing it off with another giant.
Any last wishes?
Hello, Hinata. Interestingly, I believe she's the only female giant that I know of. I haven't actually played with what's his name? The giant bee guy. Haven't played with him, but I'm pretty sure he's a male character. All the rest I know are guys, so pretty sure that she's the only female giant. So here's a fun fact for you. So yeah, she's making this look even easier, I think. Oh, hey, look at that! Something interesting happened after I defeated the Chompy Pit 3 times. But what kind of collectible is this? Why, it's a new collectible to this game. It's a wheel for something called the Luck-O-Tron. When we finally get access to the hub world, we'll see what the Luck-O-Tron is. And basically, it's a machine that helps influence our luck in the game. You add wheels to it that you pick up in levels to increase your odds of getting certain pickups from defeating enemies. So this one is a Lucky Wheel of Experience, which means that if you plug it into the Luck-O-Tron, then you're more likely to get slightly more experience from beating enemies, so you can level up more quickly. Other Luck-O-Tron things include health and wealth, and critical hits, I believe. I think it's just 4 types, and I think those are them. So, you know, it's interesting. I think it's a nice touch to the game. Lets you decide what you want to focus on. If you want more gold to unlock all the things in the game, you can do that with wealth. If you are having trouble surviving in battle, then you can do health, etc., etc. So, as I said, gonna need to call in the help of some of our smaller Skylander friends to get around in this level. But for the most part, we're going to be using some giants. But since we're at a life gate, Yoshi's going to help us clear the way. Open sesame.
Off the beaten path.
Nailed it. Let's see. No, I think we should stick with our plan of being giant for as long as possible.
Any last wishes?
Now, again, this first level is pretty simple this time around. Probably even simpler than the first level of the last game, I would say. And, so, there's really just one... our second official enemy introduction. Or third, I guess. Did we get a formal introduction for that, Arkeyan fellow in the, Chompy Pit? I can never remember. But like I was saying, this elemental gate is really just one simple room full of, like, pumpkins and other vegetables and gourds you can smash to get, like, treasure and stuff. Kind of weird. Something that didn't exist in the last game, where those types of things that you could break open, they exist in this game. Now, unless you have a Skylander who has some sort of upward arcing attack, you can't really kill that root runner, so it's kind of a weird place to introduce it, really. But that's fine, because all we really needed from this place was this hat. That's right, we still have hats just like last time. There's a lot more of them. Many of them are less exciting than last time around, but, you know, they still provide stat boosts, so might as well put it on. What do you say?
Splendid.
Looking quite fashionable, sort of, I guess. And with that, we've cleared out that gate. Do you have anything interesting to say? Hello? No, you don't want to talk to me anymore. There's often someone just standing outside an elemental gate to tell you that there's a hat inside. I don't know why they did that.
That's the Arkeyan Conkertron guarding the mine. He's the one keeping us all here. And believe me, he's tough. See?
Yikes.
But if you could just break those chains that are holding him up, kablamo! We'll be home free.
Jeez, that's easy for you to say. You realize that that Conkertron thing is like 80 feet tall or whatever. Okay, so check it out. Here's another guy. Just some dude standing outside a gate. Let's talk to him.
I found another one of these special elemental places. It's really windy in there. No place for me, but I'll bet there's something good inside for you.
Yes, the camera couldn't possibly make that any less subtle. There's a treasure chest and a hat here. So, let's call on Falco to open the door.
Hawk and door. Light core.
And, yeah, I don't think I actually touched on this much in the last game, but you don't actually need to remain the as a Skylander of the element of the gate. Once you've opened the gate with the appropriate element, in this case air, you can switch to any Skylander and they can walk freely around. In the last game, there were occasionally things like lava that you would like need a specific type of Skylander to get across. In this game, that is no longer the case. All Skylanders can walk on fire. Don't know why that is, but certainly interesting. Let's tag out to a giant, though. We've got only one more on our team that we haven't tried at all today. So welcome back, Laboon. And I think he's the one who's going to help us start taking down the Contradiction. But we will need the help of at least one more giant, and you'll see why later. So there we go, yet another treasure chest. And we've got some spinning wind blade type things. I don't know. It looks like they're supposed to be spinning blades because we've seen spinning blades in the past in Skylander games, but it's really just a jet of air. So it doesn't seem that threatening, but it will still damage you if you attack it, so don't take it lightly, even if it looks just like it's made of air. Oh, look at this lovely hat. This would look great on a giant whale, don't you think? +5 armor? Sure.
Oh, not bad. I hope it fits my big head.
I don't remember him saying that, but he just said, I hope it fits my big head, which is funny because I was actually just going to mention how silly some of the hats look on the giants. Let's collect some more treasure. Don't bother talking to this Mabu guy because he's just going to say the same thing he just said. This game is really laying it on thick with the redundancy in the first level. But it's not going to trouble us too much longer. We're actually almost at the end of the level already. It's pretty short this time around. Now, there's actually two ways to take out these chains. One is simply to attack them, which any Skylander can do. The other is to use the strength of a giant to lift the bolt out, and the chain will just fall. They're equally effective. It's just a matter of which one suits your style better, I guess.
You have trespassed on the site of our glorious temples. Return to your post at once and resume serving your Arkeyan master.
Oh my! You gonna fight me? You know, for a guy named Contradiction, you're not actually that aggressive. I expected you to be a little bit angrier. I mean, you're kind of frowning at me, but your disappointment is not the same as wanting to fight me. Oh, there comes some violence.
Unauthorized heroic behavior is not allowed.
Alright, let's push these boxes out of the way, clear a path for ourselves. There's a little speed boost generated by the whale dive.
Perhaps eliminating these enemies will reveal a bounce pad.
Here we go, learning another returning mechanic from the last game. We had the enemy gates before in the Chompy Pen, and now we have the enemy bounce pads, which existed before. They were a little bit rarer in the last game than they are here, but we've seen them before, no big deal. Hey, look, a guy standing by an elemental gate. I wonder what he has to say.
I'd say take cover in here, but it's super creepy. Like I said, super creepy.
I've seen creepier. You know who else has seen creepier? Pegasus.
I've got my eye on you.
He may only have one eye, but it's a giant eye, so he's seen plenty of creepy things in his time, I'm sure.
Let's see.
This is our last elemental gate of the area. You might be interested to note that the elemental gates of this area correspond to the 3 types of elemental characters that come in the full-out starter pack, not the Portal Owners pack, but the beginners pack for this game, as that comes with Cinder, Jetvac, and Tree Rex. So, get ourselves one more hat for the level. There's a much larger number of hats in this game, but not all of them are found in elemental gates like they were in the last game. So we got a paper fast food hat. Sure, that'd look pretty funny on a giant eyeball.
I hope I don't get creative in this.
Man, I just love the way these hats look on just sitting on top of the giant eyeball. I love how I sat there and waited for the spears to attack me, because that's just showing off my pro level of skills. Another fun thing to notice about giants is that all but one of the giants will leave some sort of trail behind as they walk. For example, got the Undead Skylander leaving like creepy, like glowing mud footprints or something. I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to be, but it is vaguely unsettling. Let's switch back to a different giant because, again, Pegasus has had plenty of time to shine this episode.
Sail to the wheel!
Boone will flex his giant anchor flailing muscles a little bit longer. Man, this guy is not messing around. He's sure got plenty of ability to fight us. I mean, he could certainly be doing more, like he could slap me or punch me or something, just not doing it. I don't know. Maybe he's intimidated by my giant size. But in any case, since he's not an immediate threat to us, we can stop down here and pick up a legendary treasure. Now, the legendary treasures look a little bit different this time around. Instead of just being random artifacts from the Skylands that give you large quantities of gold, they still give you some amount of gold, but they actually also serve a separate purpose, which I think we'll discuss in greater depth once we have access to our hub world. So, since last time we used giant strength to pull the bolt out of the ground, let's just attack it this time. See, even giants can use the normal method of breaking one of the chains. Of course, you also have the ability to pick it up after you've done that and just carry it around if you feel like it. I don't know. There's a lot of things that giants can do that's just sort of like silly and fun. Like, definitely don't need to do this, but I can throw it and kill a bunch of chompies.
Your attempt to destroy me is completely unauthorized.
We have our second level 2 Skylander. So let's keep spreading the love and showcase Hinata some more.
Any last wishes?
I think she'll be the one to finish off this massive machine and show us some girl power. Whoa. You gotta watch out for those eye lasers. He doesn't actually try to target you, which you might guess from the fact that so far he hasn't really gone to any great lengths to try and attack us. But you can still get hit by them. What you sort of have to do, it's actually much easier to avoid them if you're not a giant character.
Falling sequence start.
Ooh. Watch that first step, Conkertron!
Quickly, back to our village!
By the ancients, we're free!
Yes, thank you. You have given us hope. Perhaps now, with the help of the Skylanders, we can finally bring down the Arkeyans so all of Skylands can be free.
Alright, check it out, you guys. With that, we've got our first level completed. We got all of our collectibles, met all the goals. And the only thing that we didn't do was clear the minute in less than 4 minutes and 20 seconds. From what I can tell, while in the last game I said it was like impossible to do the cleared under a certain amount of time challenge, it's because I thought everything needed to be done in one run. It can be done, you simply can't get all or generally any of the collectibles while doing so. So you're better off focusing on one or the other one time through. For this game, I'm considering trying to do a run of all the levels and under the time limit, but to be quite honest, I'm not sure I'll be able to do all of them. Some of them are still pretty hard. But with that, we've cleared our first level. Had a lot of fun with our giants, showed off some of their special tricks. One thing I wanted to elaborate on before heading forward is the fact that in that last little scene against the Conkertron with his I-beam lasers, there's sort of like a pile of rocks on top of that chain, which protects it from your attacks until he blasts it at least once with his lasers. So you kind of just have to avoid his attacks until then. And once he's blasted it and cleared away the rocks, then you have the opportunity to defeat him. It doesn't take terribly long, but you do sort of have to watch out for it and know that. Otherwise, you might get confused. In any case, one level down. And I guess because this level is so simple, the game just heads right on into the next level, yet again without giving us access to the hub world. So in the next episode, we'll be picking up just about where we're leaving off here, and kick it off with the beginning of the second chapter. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope I'll see you next time as well. Thanks for watching.